welcome to
Mind Body Stuff.
I'm Kaylee.
I'm Bernice.
We are excited because we have a very special guest joining us today. Erin Erickson, can you say hello?
Hello. Thank you for having me.
We're so happy you're here. Thank you guys who are listening for tuning in last week to our episode on mental health. It's a massive topic, and it's just so important that we keep talking about it and just trying to help remove that stigma or the veil that keeps us from being open and honest about the fact that it affects so many of us. And there's nothing wrong with talking about it and with exploring our own mental health. And to be able to do that in community with you all is so, it's just so appreciated. So thank you to everyone who's shared their feedback and comments.
Yeah, it was really special to hear from everybody and to know that the podcast was well received. And again, it's really important that we continue to talk about this. We don't want to get this buried again. We need to always bring mental health up to the surface. We're all affected by it. We all have periods of our lives where we may not feel mentally well, and that's okay. And that's why we have each other to talk about and talk with.
Speaking of talking with, we're so excited that Erin is our first guest on our podcast. When we decided that we wanted to bring guests on occasionally, it was kind of a no-brainer who we wanted to bring on. So thanks for being our guest.
We both were like, who should it be? And then we were like, Erin Erickson.
So for those of you who don't know Erin, a little quick bio about her. She is mother to Beatrice and Henry. She's wife of 19 years to her best friend and biggest agitator, George. She's a managing partner in a civil litigation law firm. She's the founder and director of Missoula Rises, organization and action founded in love. A dedicated OULA champion of women's rights, specifically in the workplace, firm believer in the power of revolutionary love to affect change. Can you see why we invited Erin onto our show?
Why would we want her?
So yes, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
Erin, do you want to maybe just start by telling us your relationship with OULA, or how we all found each other?
Yes. So I will first say that the reason that you're able to read that biography the way that you are is in large part because of my relationship with OULA. So I'm able to really own a lot of those aspects and not be embarrassed to put them out there and feel proud of my accomplishments. So I started dancing with OULA in 2013.
Was it here at the studio?
No, it was before the studio.
Okay.
And I used to dance at Mismo.
Yeah.
With Lizzie.
Oh,
my first
wow. I know. I logged in to see when you started, and it was right at the beginning, 2013. It was April 2013.
Yep, I remember when the studio opened. And interestingly enough, I was actually really afraid to come to the studio at first because I had built OULA instructors up to be these beautiful, fit, amazing, charismatic, magnetic women that I didn't feel like I would really ever fit in with. And so I was really scared to go. So I think my first class here, if I remember correctly, was the 6 a.m. class because it was dark.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
It was
and that's a nice time for working folks, I think, to get their workout in before.
And also to hide in the dark. You're afraid to be around.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, I found my favorite spot that first class, and I have never strayed from it. To this
yeah.
day.
That's your spot.
That is my
totally
spot.
your spot.
Even when I roll in 7-8 minutes late and someone's there, I'm like,
you're
can you scoot out?
Hi.
Move over.
So I started dancing there, and then just really kind of kept to myself. And it wasn't until I became really involved with OULA when I went to the first OULA retreat in 2015, which of course you guys facilitated. And
in Mexico.
In Baja.
Yeah, in Baja.
And it was that experience that just started me on this path of figuring out. My voice was always in there, but being okay with it, accepting it, and projecting it out. So OULA was the catalyst for me to do that. So it's not only been a place for me to physically work out, it's actually been my space to learn who I am and be okay with that and be proud of it. So,
so what would you say about that retreat, like made a change, or what do you think?
What was the catalyst?
What do you think that was?
Maybe.
So again, it goes back to me having a perception of OULA instructors, because that retreat, I think I was the only person who went who was not an instructor. So I remember feeling really scared, like, why am I doing this? What am I doing? And thinking that you guys would all know each other. And I was so preoccupied. I'm just going to be really honest here, because that's what we should be doing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Every time.
I was really preoccupied with, before I went, with losing weight, with trying to look the way the other instructors looked. I was preoccupied with figuring out how I was going to fit in and talk to you all. And I remember showing up at the airport, I almost didn't want to go the night before because I was so anxious about it. Actually makes me anxious thinking
I remember you telling me that.
Oh, wow.
And I showed up and I was totally blown away just by how welcoming women were. I remember Lacey Ellis actually touching my arm and saying she was so glad to meet me. And that was the first time I actually had been in a circle of supportive women. I actually had not experienced that in my life before. My relationship with women was based usually in competition. I had 2 close girlfriends from childhood, but aside from that, it was based in competition. And so that was a huge part. And then the other thing was just getting there. I'll never forget. This is going to sound crazy, but the first meal, like watching all of these like beautiful, fit women being like, I'll have more guacamole. I'm going to get the enchiladas. I'll have a glass of wine. And I honestly wasn't used to being around women like that. I was used to being around women who were like, I'm going to have a salad, hold the cheese, like this constant like preoccupation with physical appearance. And I was like, what is this? Like
that
this
dieting culture.
Competitive dieting culture. And I was just like blown away by these women who, number one, looked beautiful, but then as that time went on, I was like, oh my God, they're like real. And they eat plates of enchiladas. Like no one's talking about them.
Like, these are my people.
And they're just like, they taste good, you know? And there was no shame, like this culture of shame just wasn't present there. And it was like, I was completely blown away by the concept of women being in a circle and supporting each other. And that is actually where the basis of my, to this day, like my really solid, they don't even feel like friendships, they feel like soul relationships, started with women there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So that's how that retreat impacted me. And then to be around that, I was able to be okay with like looking at myself. That was the start of me saying like, what's all this stuff you need to kind of look at? And I had never done that before. Like for me to even verbalize some of the things that I did about myself that weekend. It was like so steeped in shame. It was like, God, can I even like say this or like put it down on paper? But it didn't seem scary when I had women there around me.
And sharing their similar stories probably.
So,
and their struggles with the same stuff.
So why do you think this is, you know, and I feel like I get kind of, sometimes I feel like I live in a little bubble, like this OULA bubble where it is like, I'm like, women are wonderful, but I kind of forget that is like not always the experience that women have with other women, because I've literally surrounded myself pretty much everywhere, my work, my friendships, like with women that I trust and feel safe with. So what do you think it is about, like, what has created this situation that women feel this sense of competition among each other? Like, what is that about?
So from my perspective, I firmly feel that is rooted in what, you know, some people may call the patriarchy. I'm not going to use that word today because it has a lot of different connotations for different people, but what I call it is like this male model of success that's been there in our existence, our country, I mean, forever, right? And that's what everything is based off of. That's what our media is based off of. That's what our jobs are based off of. It's like this male model of success. So it's like that is telling us, we think that women should look this way because it's pleasing to this model of success. And that's then put out to all of us in all these different ways. And it pits us against each other because no one's
Yes.
giving us permission. And I think that many times women haven't given themselves permission to say, like, we don't believe that, we reject that model.
Yeah.
So, and I just think it's invasive in so many areas of our lives, from our jobs to the way we raise our children, to the narratives that are put out through the media, TV, everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it has changed. It is changing, but that, I firmly feel like that's what causes competition between women. And you are right. Like, when you move away from that and surround yourself with women that don't, it feels so foreign when that happens. And it's hard. Like, I've struggled with that actually, even this year, dealing with women that aren't usually in my circle that get, competitive and aggressive.
Yeah.
When I'm like, why?
What's happening?
Why do we need to be this way? I don't want to be this way with you at all.
Right.
I just want them to come to an OULA class. Like,
Yeah.
I want people to
to feel that communal.
Totally.
Yeah. It's so funny too, because for Kaylee, I remember when I first started working with her, she was like, I love women. I love working with women. And I was always like, what?
Yeah, because you don't typically.
No, I don't trust women in general. I've had bad experiences with women in the past. Nothing against you women. But just, it has been very competitive. And then when I came into your circle and to this whole OULA thing, now when you talk about it, I'm always like, oh, that's right. We don't like women. Or you know what I mean? Like, I forget that we have that competitive stance.
Yeah.
Because here we don't feel that anymore.
At all.
And we hear that about the circle work all the time.
Yeah.
The women in the circle.
Yeah. Just about how they usually don't trust women.
Yes, right. We always start every training, every empowerment group, every workshop, every retreat. We start with the circle.
Yeah.
And every time, inevitably, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 women that say, I am very uncomfortable being in the circle with all these women.
Well, sure. It's their insecurities that have been put on them by this model of success that's been out there. And it's just, unfortunately, we've been taught to project that towards other women. We compete for men. We compete for jobs. We compete for who's the best Pinterest mom. Like, there's all these levels of competition.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
That women don't put on each other. So
yeah, it's really interesting. And I want to actually tie in our previous podcast's topic into kind of my experience with all of this. And so when I was talking in the last episode about my cyclical anxiety that I had, it was like this pattern of thought that I couldn't get out of. So what happened when I was in my young 20s is I started losing a ton of hair. So I just remember it happening one day where I started brushing my hair and I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of hair in my brush and in the drain. And it was it was stressful, but I had so much hair that it didn't really matter. And as more time went on, losing this insane amount of hair, it got to be really stressful for me, and it created a lot of anxiety. And so what happened is I would be afraid to get up in the morning, because when I lifted my head off the pillow, there would be a pile of hair, and then I'd have to shower and do my hair, and I just got into this state of panic. And yes, it's just hair, but for women, hair represents beauty and health
and youth.
And as I was losing all of this hair, in a way, it literally felt I was so scared of actually going bald. And what that triggered more than anything else was what is going to be my female value?
Oh yeah.
Very well said.
And also because I was young. I started in my early 20s, and I also felt I had just recently started dating this man who's now my husband, but he was attractive and charming and intelligent. And there was something buried deep in my psyche that thought, if I lose my hair and I'm not beautiful, then what do I have to offer? What am I carrying my weight in the relationship obligation between a man and a woman? And honestly, so much actually, and I'm just now kind of getting through my shame. Even maybe a couple years ago, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying this in a podcast, but I realized that I had so much shame tied into that whole idea of losing something that is considered very important for a female and beauty. And without having gone through that experience, again, I don't feel like I would be doing the work that I need to be doing, because sometimes it takes this like death in order to find the rebirth into something that's more important. And I always feel like, God or the universe or whoever like gives you these really strong lessons so that you can be like, wake up. Mm-hmm. And so there's like, I had these like physical, like pretty important physical wake up calls to really tell me, Kaylee, you've got to get below the surface. Mm-hmm. You have to get below the surface. But I think in so many cases, society wants to keep us at the surface because it's scary when women say, you know what, I'm going to reject this notion because there is so much more to me, and there's so much that I can actually accomplish and do when I'm not so concerned with just my appearance. I'm not so concerned if am I pleasing to you or am I not. Mm-hmm. And I think more than anything, me kind of being afraid of losing or actually like it was such a like symbolic of losing this thing made me be like, okay, all right, where are we going with this? Like I had to almost shed a layer to tap into my sense of power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sense of self, the core sense of self, because there's a lot of psychic energy that goes into, being a female.
Totally.
Don't you think?
And, yeah.
Like we spend a lot of energy, like what, like you were talking about, like, should we diet? Should I get fake lashes put on? Should I go to the treadmill again?
What are people going to think if I eat my whole dinner?
Right. I just bought the tater tots. I remember going out to dinner with my husband's mom, and she was always like, half a salad.
Right.
I'm like, half a salad?
Yeah.
Holy cow, we're really taking it up a notch here. I'm like, quarter. No dressing.
Competition.
Competition.
Totally.
But it's funny because the males aren't like that as much.
Not with their appearance.
Not with it, but even if you have like young males together in a group, like we've talked about before, it's always like the best male, like they're like, follow him. Mm-hmm. That guy's good. If someone's good at a sport, they're like, there goes John, follow him. Like, you go help John. Yeah. But with females, there's a best female in the sport, and everyone's like, oh, Betty's so good. Well, watch me kick this. But they're not. It's weird how we're,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I really identify with what you were sharing. Mm-hmm. And it's that idea that, for many, many, many women, hopefully not the generation that's coming up that we're raising, I do see like a distinct difference there. But this idea that's been ingrained in us that our self-worth is determined by our appearance. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know for myself, and I'm not faulting my mom or my grandmother or anyone else. It's just that I think it was the era that they were raised in, that your appearance determined your self-worth. I really feel like I was raised that way. I firmly believed that until 2015. I could honestly look at any point in my life right now and say, the day I was married, I weighed this. The day I took my law school exam or graduated law school, this was my number on the scale. Like my entire self-worth. And if it was low, then I was good. Yeah. If it wasn't, then I was bad. I would go to client meetings or to court. And even though I was mentally prepared and like very accomplished on paper, my idea of whether I was good or bad depended upon my appearance at that time. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I was involved with OULA that I realized, I mean, it was a process, but I mean, 2015 wasn't that long ago when you think about being able to do this.
3 years ago.
Exactly.
But it's that constant, like, we do this weekly. We do it weekly. And you're going, 3 times a week.
Like a practice.
Around these women that, it's not therapy work or journaling, or at least it hasn't been for me. It's actually been being around women who I really respect and I look up to, that are consistently, every time I come here, all of them to a T are giving me the vibe or saying, I value you. Not at all based on your appearance. Any person can walk in that door and it doesn't matter what they're wearing, what brand they're wearing, what they look like. Like, it's literally a non-fact. Like, you just don't see it here. It's a non-factor. And
it's totally a non-factor.
Yeah. And when you're able to, like, say my self-worth is not based on my appearance. Like when you, like with you,
Mm-hmm.
the rebirth and like losing your hair and like having that wake up call, for me, it was a slower process, like going through OULA and realizing, oh my gosh, the things that like you can accomplish when you believe
Mm-hmm.
that your self-worth is something that's not tied to your appearance. It's
Totally.
like you break out in ways that like you didn't even think you could.
Yeah, and you have the energy to do it too. You have this infinite more energy because if you imagine all the times you were worrying about like, I'm totally prepared, but what do I look like?
Exactly.
You know, and then a lot of energy goes into that versus like when we let go of that and we can say, okay, what's the work we're going to do today?
Or like this,
regardless of what I look like.
Like it's a non-factor. Like it's gone from being a non-factor in OULA to being a non-factor in my outside life. Like
so
now,
it's spread.
The shame. It's like the shame has just started to fall away, and it wasn't one moment, but it was just slowly through the support of other women in OULA.
That's such a great point too. How you're saying because sometimes people are like, well, I want it to be in this part of my life. It's like, but you started here, and then it slowly started to fall away, and then you could generalize to more and more areas of your life because I'm sure you got confident. Like in this space, I feel confident this way.
Totally.
And then suddenly you're like, oh, I feel confident over here now.
Yeah. The work I do with Missoula Rises, if I can just address that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's very much has put me in the public eye, like pictures in the paper and that kind of stuff. And I can unequivocally tell you that before I would have been too scared to put myself out there. Being vulnerable was the scariest thing to me. Putting myself out there physically was frightening to me because I felt out of control. If I saw, like now, I mean, I realize that when I'm in the paper, like people take pictures, like they usually post like put in the worst picture they've taken of you. That's just like what.
Yeah.
That's nice. Out of all of the pictures. Okay.
Thank you for that one.
But honestly, like I can look at that now. In the past, like I'm not kidding. That would have devastated me. I would have thought, oh my God, everyone's going to think I'm a fat pig and I'm worthless. Totally. And those are the things I would tell myself every single day.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, not a flattering picture, but the substance of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares?
I care about it in terms of my health. I will say it that way. I care about my physical appearance in terms of my health. And, you know, one thing is like I've had some medical issues that have caused me to gain weight, but it's like I get it and I get what it is. And I can say this is what it is. These are the things that I can work towards.
Yes.
And there's not all this intense shame holding me down and not doing things because of that.
Right.
Which is because of OULA. So thank you.
Oh, well, I mean, thank you. Like, I've obviously referenced you many times on this podcast. Like, my definition of, I guess success, I don't know, of doing meaningful work in this space of OULA is stories like yours where a person can come into this OULA space and then gain the confidence or whatever they need to find in that space to then go out and do the meaningful work, to believe in themselves, to make change, to take these feelings or this concept and then move it out into the world in their own unique and purposeful ways. Like that to me is like, that's all I would ever want with OULA. And so I'm always just like, you know, your story and like what you've done with Missoula Rises and just how you've not only tapped into your own power, but I feel like you've really helped other women tap into their own power as well. And it's just been so incredible to watch. Do you mind like talking a little bit about like the female empowerment part of what you're doing with Missoula Rises?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I want to, because I feel like I necessarily have to. For me, the work that I do there is so intertwined with my OULA relationship. It just is that sometimes I almost feel like, I know people suffer from imposter syndrome, but I'm like, ooh, I feel like I'm just basically repeating all the stuff I hear in OULA. But I'm like, that's okay. It helps people. But yeah, a lot of what I actually learned to do here, which was being vulnerable and normalizing love. And I don't know how else to say it, because I think that we're used to doing that here. It's very commonplace for us to end class with hugs and telling people that we love them. It's commonplace for us to look in the mirror and while we're dancing, say it to ourselves or yell it at ourselves while we're dancing and others. And that's not commonplace for people that aren't in OULA usually.
I'm like, it's not?
It doesn't
After
look
every
the same
workout,
way.
we hug and we cry.
Sometimes I cry
Totally
after I go to
normal.
the grocery store.
And it can feel, I mean, that when I started Missoula Rises, just for context, I had never been politically active or involved in any social justice or nonprofit work before President Trump was elected. And it was after he was elected, I had sort of a mother bear instinct kicked in and just thought, there was policies that, he had talked about that I was really concerned about for myself and my children. So it started out with me, and I just thought I need to do something because I'm the kind of person that just, in order to not feel vulnerable, I just have to act and move
Take
and keep
action.
doing.
Yeah.
But I knew the day after I was actually laying in bed with my daughter because she didn't know that she's 14, almost 14 now, and she didn't know that the president had won, and I knew that was going to be probably hard for her because she was really excited about a female president.
Sure, yeah.
And also she had heard the things that were said about women by our current administration, and so that was difficult for her too, to think about that person being a leader.
Yes.
And so I was really concerned about that, and I was laying in bed with her trying to figure out how I frame this so she doesn't feel scared or doesn't feel like we don't have any options.
Yeah.
And I knew at that point in time that everything that we did, everything that I was going to do, which I didn't know it was going to be this organization. I just knew that every action I took from there on out had to be based in love and compassion and exercising grace, because that was the exact opposite of the behavior I had seen exhibited by people I didn't agree with. And so part of that, then I started this Facebook group of just friends, and it just started growing and growing and growing. And we have almost 4,000 members now. We're pretty active in our community and state. And I consistently talk in there about being vulnerable, about love, and just recently talked about not dehumanizing other people who we don't agree with, and oftentimes refer to Brene Brown. And I quote you a lot. I feel like I can't always tag you, so I'm like a mentor of mine. I use the lyrics that we dance to. I mean, I use OULA for that purpose. I come here and, man, those lyrics and the artists, like, they just bring out so much, and I'm able to just think and process the whole time. And they strike a chord, and it's just normalizing love and having people take action intentionally with love at the heart of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that.
And would you say it's like, what a percent of like women and men do you maybe have in this group, or helping you with some of the things that you have been able to pull off?
So thanks to Facebook, we know what that percentage is. They tell us in the group. We have about 85% women and 15% men in the group. And it is not intended to be that way. It is for everyone. But what I have seen is women consistently stepping up. It's the women who are organizing, the women that are leading. And I wonder if also it's because women are more, when they're given, I'm going to refer to myself as a leader because I am in this group.
Yeah, absolutely are.
Sure.
When they're given permission by a person who's in a position of leadership to be vulnerable and to love and normalize love. You've seen it in OULA. People just, they eat it up. They want it. They crave it. And
they need it.
They need it. It's that human connection.
They need it.
And they come and we work with so many women that just all work full-time jobs and they're taking their time to try and do right by our community and not trash. We're not here to call names or trash on anyone who doesn't agree with us. Like, that's not our intent. We try and understand their position, educate, and then just work in our own way. So that's what we do. And we've been incredibly effective at it.
You have. Oh my gosh, you have. You've given me so much hope with your work. Like, you really have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's very intertwined. So.
Well, and it is. And I think that's one of the, I think that's such an important and special piece about female relationships. And so just to give you guys an example, like, I was here last night and I was getting ready for my class, and I've been really, really just raw about what's happening, separating the parents. And I was just back here, like, on the verge of tears. Because obviously, as you can hear, as soon as I start talking about it, I cry. So Erin comes in, and we just started talking. And, sometimes I feel I feel paralyzed and I feel helpless and I don't know what I can do. And you just like took me and you said, Kaylee, like, you're like, don't stop moving, you know, and you quoted back to me OULA lyrics that we use in class, and you quoted them back to me, and you told me all of these things that are moving forward and that we can do. And so it was like this beautiful like circle thing that I could just like feel like, and like wrapping me up, because, you know, maybe these lyrics hit you in class, and then when I was at my low point, you could come back and say, okay, but here's what we're doing, and using those lyrics back to me. And I think one of the things about women is we are by nature, we're cyclical. Think about our periods, our cycles. Everything is very cyclical with women. And I think that one of the beautiful ways that women can support one another is in this really nurturing cyclical nature where, and I just felt it so strongly last night. You know, I just felt it so strongly with you. It's like we just need to be there for one another. Mm-hmm. We just need to be there for one another. And I think that with the work that you're doing with Missoula Rises, you've also taught me that there is so much that individuals can actually do. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes it does feel helpless, and sometimes, like, for, you know, that the podcast episode we recorded about like the weight of the world, it just weighs heavy on me, and people like you are so gosh, I just need you in my life, because you say, okay, well, take that anger, take that feeling, and now here's what we can do about it. Yeah. And it's just, I am so grateful for you.
Thank you.
In that way. Like,
and it is cyclical, right? Because I have to come back here to OULA, to the people that are in OULA, to sustain me and to not just sustain me, but this is where I actually, to be honest, get the majority of like my creative ideas for my work is when I'm dancing and listening to the lyrics. And in terms of like women in circles and that cyclical, and I just want to say something before I address that, is sure. That feeling that you create with women, and I think that the physical movement when we do that in OULA is actually just a huge part of that. Like we're vulnerable and we're moving together and we're moving all of our body parts and no one's judging anyone. And then just the unspoken relationships that are created in those rooms when we dance together. Mm-hmm. It's the weirdest thing. I don't even really know how to articulate it to people who don't do it. But when I'm feeling at my lowest, like I'm just like how maybe you felt last night or in other areas, I know for a fact that my friends / soul sisters that I've created through OULA, if I call them and say, can we just go grab a cup of coffee or have lunch? They are literally like a soothing balm on my soul. It's like there's this connection that's created when we are dancing and moving and to all those lyrics together and affirming each other that just can't be replicated. I'm so grateful to have just that. It's that nurturing feeling. Yeah. And we don't have to talk about the issue. It's just like physically being around them.
No,
totally.
And that's such an elemental human thing that somehow we've lost as we become more and more civilized, I think. Yeah. Is that the connection of synchronized movement to music in a community. Mm-hmm. That served a purpose for a long, long time for humans. It did.
It's so tribal.
And somehow we lost that in circles. And we moved away from that for whatever reason. But when we feel it, it's almost like you tap into the ancestors. Yeah. You know, when you're doing it. Yeah. It feels like, and it almost then, it is like, it's not just me. Mm-hmm. Like I'm no longer just this little human. I'm part of this group. Mm-hmm. And you totally understand that connection, but it would be hard to do it if we just use verbiage. Right. Like, I feel connected to you, and I feel connected to you.
And so that's where, when we have women, which I've tried to do through Missoula Rises, like, that aren't dancing with us and doing that, we have to be able to model how, like, that circular relationships work for women. And I just was thinking about this example when you were talking about, is it okay if I share an example of that? So in January, we Missoula Rises helped plan the Women's March in Missoula. And we had like over 3,000 people that showed up. It was pretty, I know you guys were there because we had OULA do some flash mobbing, but it was incredible. We actually pulled that entire thing off in less than 2 weeks. Wow. From start to finish. And we had sound system, stages, porta potties, like
Yeah.
You know, we had guards that were helping
The
people cross the street.
infrastructure.
It was like incredible. And the way we pulled that off is I'm a firm believer that you definitely lead without ego, meaning you step back and allow space for leadership when you're working with people. And we just kind of got this thread going of these women that are kind of loosely with other organizations. It was the most incredible thing, honestly. Like, we've saved that thread to archive because I'm like, I feel like this should be somewhere in a history book.
Yeah.
The complete circular leadership, there was probably 20 to 25 women that just, it was on a Facebook thread, and we planned the entire thing, and there was not one alpha leader, not one.
Wow.
But we got everything done, and
That's
it was
amazing.
so uplifting and empowering, and
it totally went smoothly.
it did.
I mean,
it was
and there was no
completely smoothly.
headbutting. There was no ego involved in that, and it was like just helping model that and saying, you go, what do you want? Listening to people, and you know, then so now I've created these relationships with those women, and we still now do like plan stuff together. I know I can rely on them. They know they can rely on me. It's cool. I mean, it's really cool.
That is, that's awesome. So would you say like you feel things shifting on a larger scale of women stepping into leadership roles and like finding their voices and all of this? Like, do you feel that changing?
I do feel it changing. I mean, I think we've seen that just even with the Me Too movement this year. I feel like that's women are stepping up and finding their voice. But one thing I think that's critical to that is that when women are doing that, we're doing it on the ways in which we know how to lead. And I think it's critical that we are not then trying to follow or emulate that male model of success.
Yeah, good idea.
That's a losing formula for women because it's not instinctual to us.
Right.
What's instinctual to us is circular leadership, like I just talked about.
Yes, that's right.
And so I think when we are stepping into those, it is changing. And I think that that's the critical part of it, is that we, as women that then become leaders, we are continuing to model that and to do that. It is absolutely going to change because the girls and the boys equally that we are raising, I just feel like are raised under such a different mindset than we were ever given access to.
Yeah.
And
that's so promising.
Oh my gosh, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at my daughter's friends, like boys and girls alike, and I know their parents, and I'm sure you feel the same way, Bernice, and you'll see it too, like, just listening to the things that their kids talk about and the way they frame things. Girls are not anymore like, oh, I wonder which boy likes me. Like, they're not obsessed with boys and looks and all of that. Like, they're way more, it's just not that way. I'm not very articulate about that, but it's really cool to see that shift.
It feels very different. And boys, like my son who's 11, they don't see women as less, you know, or more. It's just like if everyone feels very equal.
That's awesome.
It's like, well, Brandy said this in class, you know, and it's like, oh, well, that, because I'm like, and he's like, she's very smart, very gifted, you know, but it's not like, and he doesn't feel threatened by that either. It's like, well, it's really good. You know, we should listen to her. You know, and it was just like, oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's so promising to hear because things do need to change. And I don't know. I feel like also just giving the boys permission too, that they don't have to necessarily lead, that they don't have to be better, that they don't have to, you know, all the stuff that I feel like we're like pushing or have in the past pushed our boys to be. Just giving them that more fluidity to you know, to step in and out of roles and positions and maybe just hopefully we start to see this like more of this I don't know, this fluidity between the genders as well.
And more egalitarian too, in terms of like how we work with each other. And that, of course, that males can learn to use a communal approach as well. Do you know what I mean? That totally. They can also work in that same style.
So part of that is like bringing boys and men along with us as we are finding our voices and empowering our daughters. I mean, that's the one thing I always feel a little bit you know, leery of is just strictly female empowerment because it does necessarily include our boys and it includes our husbands and all of that, and that, you know, toxic masculinity it's a very dangerous thing for boys to think they can't cry, they can do this, they can't do that. And especially when you use, I love that term, like the fluidity between the genders, it becomes more and more important as it's becoming more normalized with, you know, non-binary genders and transgender.
Totally.
And we have to have that fluidity to respect each other as humans. I mean, that's a large part of it.
Yeah.
But, like, bringing the men along with us is critical. And, like, one way that so in my law firm, I was, until very recently, for years and years, the only female attorney and the only female partner.
Yeah.
And we finally just have a new female partner.
I didn't know that.
Katie Guffin, which I'm just thrilled to have her on.
That's
She's
awesome.
amazing.
Oh, cool.
But we didn't, you know, we didn't have a good maternity leave policy. And that was one thing I was like, we need to fix that. Like, we need to give women time off. And it's not just for attorneys. It has to also be for our staff.
Yeah, sure.
And everyone gets 4 months paid.
Oh my
off.
gosh.
And so
good for you guys.
Actually, which is what we could do. And but part of that was, it wasn't just for women. We needed to normalize parental leave too.
Right.
And that's what I have found to be the most helpful, at least in my professional career, is in order for me to be able to find my voice and empower other women in my job, it's like also empowering men and saying, you should also be at home with your kids when they're sick. You should also be going to their programs. You should be doing these things too. And I feel like we've really normalized that in our firm, which is great.
That's amazing.
It's so much healthier for families, and it's bringing us all along together.
Oh, that's yeah, absolutely. And what I know about all of our marriages is they're all very equal.
Yes,
you know, like
they better be.
I think that they're all very equal marriages, and you know, I really appreciate that, and I you know, have my third girl on the way, and I'm so grateful that they have a father figure to show what that looks like, to show that, you know, there's equal parenting and there isn't this necessary like gender role thing. That's although I will say I definitely like inside chores more than outside.
Yeah,
that's your personal
There are
preference.
some things that I'm like, I'd go deal with the garage stuff. Like,
yeah.
You know, like there are definitely things, but those are my personal preferences. But for the most part, it's very, it's really, it's interesting to hear some relatives be like, wow, like your husband is like really good, or like you should be very grateful that you're, and I'm like, whatever. I mean, I am grateful, but it's like, this is, I think, also what these younger and younger generations are just kind of expecting from their relationships. And the older generations are kind of like shocked by how much the dads are
having to do.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, well, you were traveling a lot last month for work. I'm like, yes, I was.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Well, what that does,
but my husband is home.
For working moms, having that equality that's becoming, again, more normalized, hopefully in marriages and with parenting, is it also, for working moms, takes off this like narrative of the working mom does it all, she can have it all, which is such a dangerous thing to promote for women. Because it's, I mean, you guys talked about that in another podcast. It's super unhealthy, and you shouldn't be trying to do it all. If you're working full time, you need help at home.
Totally.
And if you're not getting it, then hire someone to do it for you.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Get someone to help you.
Get someone to help you.
Yes.
Because it's ridiculous for us to say, you can have it all, but you are not attending to yourself.
Right.
And
right.
Really
because that's what gets left out.
Not a good mom, and not a good wife, and not good to yourself. So
Yeah. And also, like, we do travel a lot for work. You travel a lot for work.
Yeah.
And I think also part of the guilt can lessen when you're like, they are in just as good of hands as they are with me.
Yeah, maybe
you know,
better.
it's like, yeah, totally. And I think that there's also this, we also have to empower and believe that they are just as equal of a parent as we are. That it's not like, I feel so guilty. My husband is at home with the kids. Well, I'm not. No, who cares? We should be in relationships where we know that if it's us or if it's the father, the kids are very well taken care of, and everyone is doing okay. And there should be this, but at least in our marriage, there's this ebb and flow of like, okay, I need to be gone these times, and the other partner isn't making you feel guilty. About that, or you're not feeling guilty.
And we're modeling that for the younger generations, for these
I love that.
young
I love
women
my
and
kids
children.
get to see this.
But and women do. I think this can be the challenge. We have to be okay with surrendering that control and letting it go to with our husbands.
Totally.
Especially when they are taking care of the kids or stepping up. I mean, I used to be like this. I'll just straight up admit it, where I would I would let, I'm saying that in air quotes for people who can't
Yeah.
see me, I would let George, do things for the kids or do things around the house, but I would be like looking to see how he did it, not the way that I would do it, and then I would make sure that like he knew that. And I don't know why I was doing that, other than I wanted to retain control.
Sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I have gotten to the point where I'm like, why am I undermining him as a parent?
Right.
He has every right. He has every right to parent them his way.
Yeah.
And not have me criticize him.
Yes.
And it's not good for my kids to see that.
Right.
And it's just extra stress on me.
Yeah.
Totally.
So just let them do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let them do it their way.
I
And
like-
they get to learn a different way, too. It's
I feel like when my kids are with their dad, I know the kids are in great hands. Sometimes the home is not in as good.
Yeah, one time.
But I it's like I don't question him as a parent.
No.
I question him as like a dishwasher,
as a home
Yeah.
caretaker.
That's
Like one time we had a cleaning lady come in and she called me. I was on a trip and he had the house and the kids and we had 5 kids at home at the time.
Oh
and
gosh.
she called me and she said, I think someone has broken into your home.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, what? And she said, it's like someone has rifled through everything. Everything is thrown upon the floor. She was super worked up. No, honey. No, that wasn't it at all. It's just my husband and the 5 children.
That actually, honestly, we laugh about this, but that actually used to be like a point of extreme marital contention between George and I. Was like, when I come home, the house is a disaster because it felt like a personal affront.
Totally.
That is why I actually hired the house cleaner. And I will tell you, as Beatrice got older, like I said, she's almost 14 now. She knows like my language of love, and my language of love is when I come home, I want the house in order.
Yes.
It makes me feel crazy.
Yeah.
And she does it for me, and I love her for
Yeah.
that. I love her for that.
Yeah. Well, and it's like taking care of your mental health too, because like, and that is definitely a form of love. Like I feel the same way. There's who is it that makes the mugs? Is it Emily McDowell? Emily McDowell. She had some card or something the other day that was like what I hope for you in your marriage, and it was like that you fall in love with someone who has the same level of cleanliness as you. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's the one. That's the one piece that's like we're missing.
We didn't quite get that.
But anyways, we're straying from female empowerment
that's
here.
Right.
But I just like I do feel comforted by the trends that we're seeing.
I do too.
I definitely feel comforted by that. But I do I do just feel so much gratitude for you and other women who are actually stepping into these leadership roles and leading by example of how this can be done and how you guys are making some serious movement with your leadership style. And I mean, you especially with Missoula Rises, but with love at the heart of what you're doing. And it's radical in a way, but it's also just like so right. I mean, it's just beautiful to watch, and it does give me hope because I feel like there are so many things right now that are feeling hopeless or that just feels so hard and
unchangeable.
And I feel like the comfort that I'm getting is seeing.
And that's the beauty of what you do is you give us direction.
And you give us direction. I think but that's a good leader.
Yes, that's a good leader because we are worked up. I mean, we're in this time of darkness, which isn't so bad because, of course, it ignites us and makes us change. It makes us work for change. But sometimes if we don't have leaders that give us direction, we're just like people running on little, rat wheels. Running, and you're like, wait. Go, get off the wheel and come down this path. And we're like, oh, thank you.
Totally.
It's just hard. I mean, it's harnessing that energy. It's harnessing that energy.
And it is.
Yeah. I think that, like, leading with love, when you say that, I think it's not revolutionary. We've seen other, like, really incredible leaders, like Martin Luther King and Gandhi, lead with love. I actually feel like it's more revolutionary for women leaders to lead with love, because typically for women to be successful leaders, again, they're having to model themselves after that male model of success, which means
somewhat
talk hard. Can I use the B word? Be a bitch. I see that a lot in my profession. Yeah. And that's how women feel that they need to get. Not always, this is a broad sweeping generalization, but traditionally we have seen that. And it feels more revolutionary, I think, to see women come out. And we're seeing more and more and more of that on a national level, global level, local level. Like with you are obviously a leader in love. And, of course, with Glennon Doyle. I mean, we see them all over the place.
Right.
Valerie Cure. And
Yeah.
And there's an
becoming more
expectation that we're going to fight. Like, people are like, come on, you want to fight? And it's like, no, we don't want to fight.
No.
We want to change. We want to make change.
That song, Unraveling. I'll
Yeah.
never forget the first time we danced it. It was the weekend after Trump was elected, and there was a training weekend here. And Annie from Alaska, hi Annie, was here staying with me. And I remember we danced it out there, and I was like taken by the movements, but I couldn't hear all of the little words. That I went home and looked up the lyrics to that, and you know the words that the women are singing about. I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to come to you and bring you bread and flowers and make your body move with. I mean, that's how I feel. We're going to make this change together. Is by, I mean, revolutionary love and being there and open for people who we don't agree with. Not accepting what they're doing. But,
and holding what we believe is true and right and morally and ethically correct. And we can do that with love and peace and grace and strength.
And fire.
And it does take the fire.
Yeah. And it does take the fire. But they don't always have to be like, well, come at me, bitch.
No.
You know, and it's like, no, I'm not. I'm just going to hold right here.
Hold you accountable.
That's right.
With love, compassion, and grace.
And I just hold up the mirror. Here's the mirror.
Yep.
And they're like, oh. I'm like, that's all.
Yeah.
Look in.
And then come join us.
That's right.
And then come join us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us in this conversation.
We're so honored to have you.
Yeah, just
today.
so honored to know you and to be in your community,
your circle.
You are just one of the most just like powerful, but in this loving way. Just I admire you more than most people. I mean, you are at the top of my list of just really just inspirational women. So thanks for being my mentor and my friend. And
thank you.
Yeah,
and giving us direction.
Well, it's obviously not to make this big love fest, but it's totally circular.
Why not?
I mean, you know that it's circular because I refer to you consistently. You and then the OULA leadership team as the only way I can think of to phrase it is my soul mentors. You mentor my soul to help me keeping in the right direction and doing the right things and staying on course. And I just want to share this. Can I have time?
Yes, of course. Yes.
At that first retreat in 2015, it was the first circle we did, and where we were going around. And I remember that was my first experience with a circle time sharing thing in OULA.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at you, and I think I might have verbalized this, but I remember thinking, I can't imagine what it would be like to be Kaylee, to be a person that like impacts all these people that she doesn't even realize like how she's impacted. And it just feels really like crazy to then sit across from you now and feel like that's been extended to me. And then the other thing I do remember from that retreat was Sammy saying, and I couldn't quite comprehend it at the time, but I do now, saying like, you know, when you learn to love yourself, like that love can just come up and it radiates higher and higher and higher, like on different levels and frequencies. And of course I couldn't fully grasp it then because I didn't practice self-love. But once you do, it's like you are able to move outward in ways that you just didn't know existed.
Yeah.
Move that love outward. So.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Yay, OULA.
Yay, OULA. And I mean, yay for you just showing us what that looks like. And here's the thing. I step into your power, women. Like it is there. It is all around us. And I'm so excited to think about what this world can and will be when women act out of love, and when they take that fire and that fuel and the heart, we'll be able to move mountains, and we already are. So thank you for showing.
I just have to add one little thing to that, one little tip. Okay, when you're acting out of love, and women, when you're stepping into your power, when you're doing that, there's actually no need to ask permission.
Yes,
from anyone.
Good point.
That's the other model of women's circular leadership.
Good point.
We don't actually have to have permission.
Yeah.
So just remember that you don't have to go through committees. That's part of why Missoula Rises has been successful, as I was like, I'm not going to ask if I can call Senator Tester.
Yes.
I'm going to call him and have the confidence that I don't want to talk to the person who's answering the phone. I would please like a meeting with someone else. And then I get to know that someone else, and then I'm like, I'm not asking anyone's permission. But this is who I need to talk to. Can we please make that happen? And here's why. And just keep going and going. We do not need fake permission, faux permission.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good point.
I love that.
Yeah. We got this.
We got
We got this. We don't need permission.
Oh, thank you so much for being
thanks,
here.
Erin.
Thanks for everyone listening.
Thanks, you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.